All right, welcome to another Thursday morning and another episode of Seeds of Music. This time we're switching it up again and doing a mini lesson on should musicians blog? Is it a waste of time or is it not a waste of time? We'll find out. But real quick, before I start this, I just want to ask a quick favor. If there is a question that you have or some kind of topic or a problem that is bugging you that you want covered in the next mini lesson, please leave a comment and let me know what that is. You can also just email me at kyle.seedsofmusic@gmail.com. Put something in the subject line like mini lesson content idea or just something like that. Just mention mini lesson content in the subject line and I'll take a look through your email and use that to possibly craft the next mini lesson from that. So please take the time to leave a comment. So let's get on with this mini lesson. So essentially there are two purposes for blogging, period, no matter who you are. Number one is you enjoy blogging in of itself. You just love doing it. The second reason is you are trying to get people to visit your website and hopefully they will like your music and become fans. For other businesses, it's people just coming to their website and doing something like signing up for an email list or buying a product. But for you as a musician, you want people to get to your website and become a fan of your music and buy your music or get on your email list or follow you on social media. The people who come to your website, that's called traffic. And when people become fans or take some kind of action, that's called conversion or convert. So if you like to blog, just go ahead and do that. No one should stop you from doing that if you love it. We all create music because we love doing it. And if you also love writing, just go ahead, knock yourself out. But if you want to drive traffic, we need to think a little bit more into this. Okay, because driving traffic to your website with blogging requires that you do SEO, and that is called search engine optimization. And yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun because it really isn't a lot of fun. And the way SEO works is that people will write articles because they want to attract traffic for certain keywords. So someone goes into Google and punches in a keyword. Those people want their websites to show up for that keyword in the results and people to click through, and therefore they have traffic. For example, take a fitness website. All right, maybe they want to attract more traffic to their website and they notice a lot of people are searching for kettlebell stuff. And they do a little bit of keyword research and find using online available tools. And they find out that a lot of people are searching for kettlebell routines. So they think, oh man, okay, we need to rank for kettlebell routines. So let's write a blog article on kettlebell routines or kettlebell routine for dummies or something like that. And they have the keyword kettlebell routine in the title. They have it mentioned in the body text, and they also put it in the meta tags. Then they're going to start to have a chance of ranking for that keyword on Google or Yahoo or whatever. And the higher they rank, the better chance people are going to click through. So that's why people blog for SEO to drive traffic, because they're trying to attract traffic for certain keywords. So if you're a musician, what is the musician's SEO? Well, first ask yourself, do people search for your band name? Well, they do. However, if you are just starting out and you are struggling with exposure and you're not really selling music and your fan base isn't really solid yet, then it's most likely not a lot of people are searching for your band name. So other than just putting your band name in the title of your website, like the URL, there's not much you can do outside of that because it's not going to really matter because not a lot of people are searching for your name. You're not going to be able to create new fans from that. So what do you do? There are a few things that musicians are doing now to do SEO, blogging, to drive traffic to their website. And it's just leveraging keywords for things that are outside, that are not your band name, basically. Let's say we've got musicians out there that they write articles because they want to rank for a genre of music, like a search term for a genre of music. So that could be anything from alternative rock to pop country to whatever, to heavy metal. So in this example, I used the free Google keyword tool to search for heavy metal and see how many people search for that a month. You can see here I circled it. Heavy metal, 135,000 people search for it a month, and the competition is low. Now, in Google's terms, low competition could mean somewhere like 8,000 people ranking for that keyword term instead of 100,000 or 7 million. I mean, there's the internet is so massive. It's like the universe. You can't really visualize it very easily. So 135,000 people search for that heavy metal content. So you're like, okay, yeah, man, it's low competition and a lot of people search for it, so I got a good chance, right? Well, here's the thing. When I go ahead and I punch heavy metal, just heavy metal, into Google search, this is what comes up. The first is heavy metal music, the Wikipedia, and then the Wikipedia for the film heavy metal, and then heavymetal.com. Those are the first three results. Problem here is that people only click up on those top results. They're not going to scroll down and see what else is down the screen, or God forbid, click over to the next page in order to find what they want. So here you have to think: are people punching in heavy metal because they want to discover heavy metal music, or do they just want to read about the history of heavy metal? That's the case, then it's going to be hard to beat out Wikipedia on the history of anything. If they're just trying to discover new music, why would they? Do you, when you want to discover new music, ask yourself, do you go into Google and punch in a genre just so you can find new bands? Like, let's say you want to find more alternative country bands, or you're like, hey, I feel like discovering some alternative country music. I'm going to go sit down in Google and I'm going to punch in alternative country, and then I'm going to see what pops up, and I'm going to scroll down until I find myself a cool new band. Do you really do that? Because I sure as hell don't, and I'm willing to bet that millions of other people don't do that either. So with that aside, it's another thing that musicians do to get some traffic get some people over to their website, turn into fans. They leverage the names of other artists that they think they sound like. So you got more people obviously search for artists like Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, so on and so forth. So these musicians, they blog and to get traffic from those artists because they feel like they sound similar. So they're trying to rank for the keyword, which would be that artist's name, or maybe a particular artist's album, or maybe the song of a particular artist. Now, before we go on here, I just got to let you know there's a couple more problems here that we're going to run into. First problem is, do you really sound like that artist? I'm going to be honest with you. I've heard a lot of people, I've run into a lot of the musicians that we feel obligated to describe our sound by using things that other people know, like other artists. And sometimes it's like really hard to hear those influences. Because think about it. What was it? Trent Reznor said that Nine Inch Nails was really inspired by, what was it? It was Public Enemy and then some other band. And it was just like, when I heard that, I thought, wow, I can't hear it in there. But he's gotten to the level where he's mastered his craft so much that his original influences have morphed into something completely different that doesn't sound like, oh, you sound obviously like this other artist. So, okay, let's just break it down. All right, do you really sound like that artist? Okay, this is a subjective opinion. Do you really want to base the hours that you'll spend writing articles based off of a subjective opinion? Wouldn't you rather base it off of something objective that you can really measure and say, okay, yeah, for sure, I want to do this? Is the time and energy really worth it? Now, the second problem here is SEO has a really steep learning curve. This isn't like something that's going to come intuitively to you as an artist. I know that there's a lot of things that we have to learn now as musicians and artists that don't come to us intuitively, such as the whole umbrella of marketing, and especially direct-to-fan marketing, which is essential that you learn. However, I'm just going to lay it out here. SEO is a little bit beyond that envelope. There are businesses that are based off of doing SEO services for other businesses, you know, and there's people that's the only thing they focus on and they specialize in. SEO, besides like writing an article and picking your keyword and putting it in the title and then in the body and so on and so forth, if that's all you're willing to do, then it's going to be really hard to get results from that. So there is a steep learning curve once you get past the basics to SEO. Third problem is Google itself. Most people are using Google to search, period. That's a fact. However, here's another fact. Google can change their search algorithm anytime. Their search algorithm is basically the mathematical formula that goes into play every time you punch in a keyword and they try to give you exactly what you're looking for. Because Google's whole business is based off of returning you relevant results. And their search algorithms is what does that. And they change that from time to time to try to improve the relevancy of what you're searching for. But when they do, if you're already ranking for certain keywords, that could affect your ranking. And I know there's a lot of businesses that ranked number one or pretty high and found themselves like 5 or 6 places down just because Google released their next search algorithm. So that's something to keep in mind there. The fourth problem here is that you have to think about other artists that you're competing with to rank for those keywords. Because if I'm here telling you about this, chances are there are other musicians that already know about this and they're out there working trying to rank for a keyword, and they're in the same genre of music as you. And then you have the independent artists that try to rank for big time artists or more well-known artists. They try to rank for those keywords, and well, you know, no one's going to rank better than the artist themselves, you know, unless you dig really, really deep and find something super specific like a particular song or album that they have. But you have to make sure that people are searching for that in the first place, and most likely it might be just like 70 people a month. That's how low it can get. The fifth problem here is that blogging for SEO purposes, you know, to get people to your website so they can hopefully like your music and whatnot, this takes a long time. It takes a long time. It's not like you just write the article and suddenly you're ranking up there. Like you could never rank high. You could rank very low for like a year or two and then slowly work your way up. And the reason is because of all this other more in-depth SEO stuff that goes into play beyond just putting the keyword in your title. Even though that's very, very important, there's a lot of other stuff too. And I'm not even going to go into it because it's not something you need to hear unless you really want to learn about SEO, in which there are people who can teach you about SEO way better than I can. But you have to understand that, okay, despite the fact that as a musician, you're playing the long-term game, all right, building a fan base slowly up over time, playing local shows, like building like one-on-one connections, that stuff, yeah, like you shouldn't skip that and try to think that you're going to do this like boom in a short, that you're just going to build fans instantly. However, doing it online is a different breed because these are people who are just landing on your site, reading an article. They may have never met you before, and it's just like there's a real much slimmer chance that they're even interested in your music in the first place. So, very, very, very long time to get results going this route. So, what I believe when blogging actually makes sense is when you've established a following of fans that regularly go to your website to read your articles and posts because they know that you're writing stuff and they want to read what you're writing, and so therefore it's a good idea to write more because that's what your fans want. What this does is it builds a stronger relationship with your fans, which is going to lead to you selling more music. It provides more value for your fans. Other than you just giving them music, you also give them lovely articles to read. And there was an article I read on Music Think Tank, and I can't recall the author's name at this time, but it was about blogging, and she described blogging as an extension of your art. So if you look at it that way, you know, then once you build your fan base up to a certain point where you can get, you have like a strong email list, then what I suggest you do is use your email list to get people to read those articles. Okay, release content, regularly. Maybe you can write an article twice a month or once a month, and let your email list know first. Put it in that email campaign, send it out to everyone, say, hey, just released a new article on whatever. Give them the title. And put in there, in the body, just a little bit of text and then a link through to your website to read that article page, and social media buttons on there to share the article. Then, if they choose to share the article, the fans that you've already built, they choose to really share this blog article with people who haven't heard of you, then there's a better chance. Then you got more people coming in because you're doing the word of mouth thing, instead of trying to rank for keywords and work like a system, like a robotic system. I mean, this building a fan base is organic in the face-to-face person. You want to do that as much as possible. But the email list is going to be your best bet to really make these articles work for yourself. So in short, blogging for SEO to bring people to your site to hopefully become a fan and hopefully do this and hopefully do that is a lot of work. I mean, real things happen on the ground. They happen at your shows. They happen face to face. If you're going to write articles, do it as a way to connect further with the fans that you've already made. And that's all I've got to say on that. So just want to say again, please, if you got something you want covered in the next mini lesson, just leave a comment in the comment box or send me an email to kyle.seasonmusic@gmail.com, and I will craft a mini lesson just for you so I can get you results for whatever burning question is just like melting your brain away, because I know you got a lot of them. So please don't be shy. Let me know, and I'll see you next time.